President Trump plans to roll out a new round of tariffs today, what he's calling Liberation Day. Trump plans to announce import taxing, including, quote, reciprocal tariffs that would match the rates charged by other countries and account for other subsidies. Joining us to explain the impact is Cris, the Deputy Chief Economist at Moody's Analytics. Cris, good to have you with us. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
All right, so let's break this down. We all know that the markets hate uncertainty, and there's been so much uncertainty because we really haven't gotten the brass taxes, if you will, as to what these tariffs are going to be like. There's been so much mixed messaging. It's going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. It's going to be great for the economy. Even Republican senators and congressmen are saying this is going to sting a little at first. So where do we see this going today? What are we planning to hear, and what effect is this going to have overall on the economy?
Yeah, so the details are hotly anticipated here, but we're expecting that the president is going to announce some broad-based tariffs on a number of countries. It's not clear how many or what specific tariffs rates will be charged, but the impact will be that importers of goods into the country are going to have to pay a higher tariff tax, and that is going to lead to somewhat higher prices for consumers down the line. What the impact is on the economy in the longer run really depends on a number of factors: how long these tariffs stick around, what rates they are, how broad they are. But yeah, we're expecting an important message today.
And is that kind of one of the, I guess, one of the bigger issues here? Again, you hear from the president himself, who says that this is going to sting at first, but overall, long term, this is what's best for the country. I think that's tough for the consumer or the person at home who's, let's say, near retirement, in his 60s or 70s, that's, holding out for that 401k, who's in a little bit of a free fall right now. And it's only potentially going to get worse if these tariffs are felt negatively for this onset.
Yeah, I think at best it gets worse before it gets better, right? If everything works out, then you could view the tariffs as a negotiating tactic, right? The tariffs go in on other countries. That we quickly come to the table and work out a better deal, and that leads to a better outcome. But yeah, in the short term, certainly there's going to be a lot more uncertainty. Markets are likely not going to react positively, and so those 401k or retirees probably need to sit tight and see what happens here.
One thing to be clear, in this quote-unquote trade war with our trading partners, Mexico and Canada, President Trump will say that we've been unfairly tariffed by them over the years, but this was a deal that he actually put together and signed during his first presidency.
That's right. The USMCA was an extension or a renegotiation of NAFTA, and that was during the first Trump term.
So could this potentially spiral into something bigger? You keep hearing trade war. I don't think people want to go that far, but you keep hearing that from Canada now in their response. But not just with Canada and Mexico, but with other countries around the world. What do you think the long-term risks here could be?
Yeah, if in fact the tariffs are broad-based and they're affecting a lot of or many countries around the world and a number of products, then certainly you would expect that other countries are going to retaliate somehow. They've already announced it, right? Other countries have already said that they plan to tariff certain products if the import tariffs go through in the United States. That could lead to a tit-for-tat type of situation where the tariffs keep escalating, and that certainly could lead to even higher inflation at the same time that growth pulls back as businesses and consumers respond. So that stagflationary environment is really a real risk that we have to be aware of.
So let's talk about this. We constantly hear from the president that the United States is going to raise hundreds of billions of dollars from these tariffs. So where does that money go?
So mechanically, that money is collected by the Customs agency, and it goes to the Treasury, right?
So if I'm sitting at home, how is that going to affect me?
So the importer pays the tax. So mechanically, how this works: the importer pays that tariff tax to the government. Then they have to make a decision here: do they eat the tariff and keep prices where they are in terms of what they charge their customers? Do they try to push those costs back to their suppliers? Or do they pass on the tariff to their customers? So probably going to be some combination of all three here, depending on which products. And so in general, consumers can expect that prices are going to go up as a result of these tariffs.
I was going to say, so if I own a company and I'm paying a bigger tariff and I have the option of either losing more of my profit or passing the cost down to the consumer, I'm assuming most are going to pass those costs on to the consumer, the way things go in this country.
That's right. That's right. Although there is competition, depends. Some products, there's a lot of competition for. If there's a product with a lot of demand, right, or high, a real engaging piece of technology that people really want, maybe they can pass all the tariff to the customer. So it really depends.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting day, that's for sure. Once we get more details, it'll be fun to hash this all out. Cris, thanks so much. We appreciate you taking the time for us, the Deputy Chief Economist at Moody's Analytics, Cris deRitis.
Thank you.
You got it. Good to see you. And we're going to stream President Trump's announcement on those tariffs today live. When we're expecting that, a little bit later on this afternoon, when we get an exact time, we will again stream that and get all those details to you.